Sophie Cunningham, obviously a player for the Indiana Fever, who got into a little bit of trouble last night.
What do you get when the WNBA's most talked about rookie takes an eye poke, a blindside shove, and then watches her veteran teammate answer every cheap shot like it's a brawl on pay-per-view? You get Tuesday night in Indianapolis, where Caitlin Clark kept sinking jumpers, Marina Mabrey knocked her to the hardwood, and Sophie Cunningham detonated a flagrant 2 that turned Fever Sun into WNBA Raw before the buzzer even sounded. No one was suspended, but fines are flying, hashtags are burning, and the league suddenly looks one bodyguard short of a full-blown rule change. Buckle up, the Sophie-Caitlin alliance may have just launched the WNBA's first true protection era.
Sophie Cunningham showed that she is, the old Caitlin Clark enforcer.
1. The eye poke heard round the league. It began with a fingertip, a quick, blurry swipe from rookie guard J.C. Sheldon that raked across Caitlin Clark's right eye late in the third quarter. Clark blinked hard, shoved Sheldon away on instinct, and for a split second it looked like the usual jostle you see 50 times a night. Then the temperature spiked. Connecticut veteran Tina Charles stepped in, wagging a finger inches from Clark's face, and before officials could separate them, Marina Mabrey roared in from the wing and blasted Clark to the hardwood. The roar inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse flipped from cheer to gasp. The refs huddled, stared at monitors, and, astonishingly, handed out nothing harsher than technicals to Clark, Mabrey, and Charles, plus a flagrant 1 on Sheldon. No ejections, no flagrant 2s, no reset of the mood.
And chucked Caitlin Clark. There should be a flagrant 1, of course, on J.C. Sheldon because she swiped her and hit her in the eyeball.
The scoreboard still read Fever 78, Sun 70, but the real score was Fury 1, Control 0. Every camera cut to Clark rubbing her eye and mouthing, "Are you kidding me?" while the crowd chanted for answers. 30 seconds later, you could feel the tension thrum through the arena like loose wiring. Fans weren't debating strategy anymore, they were watching a powder keg. And up the bench steps marched Sophie Cunningham, jaw set, hands already forming fists in imaginary pockets, ready to deliver the answer the officials had just fumbled. But that spark comes in Section 2 because the eye poke was only the primer. The real explosion was still cocked and waiting. 2. Enter Sophie Cunningham, instant enforcer. Sophie Cunningham didn't jog off the bench. She stormed in like the bailiff of a courtroom that had just lost order. With 46 seconds left and the Sun pushing in transition, the Fever Wing saw J.C. Sheldon streaking for an easy layup. 2 hard steps, 1 unforgiving wrap-up, and the rookie was on the floor, swallowed by Cunningham's bear hug tackle. The whistle shrieked, bodies swarmed, and for a heartbeat, the hardwood looked more like a UFC octagon.
This is, of course, Sophie and Sheldon going down the floor. Sophie tries to wrap her up, and Sheldon gets to the floor, and all hell breaks loose. And Sophie said, "I'm not having it."
Officials barely finished announcing the flagrant 2 before ejecting Cunningham on the spot, a ruling that carried an automatic fine and 0 regret on her face. That single play flipped the narrative of the night. No longer was it Clark versus the cheap shots. It was Clark plus a heat-seeking missile in a ponytail. Social feeds exploded. Clips of Sophie's hit cleared 1 million views by sunrise, with captions crowning her number Bodyguard Barbie and dubbing the Fever the hardest backcourt in basketball. Even pundits who called the foul reckless admitted it reset the power dynamic in real time. Shove Clark again, and you'll pay cash at the Cunningham counter. League HQ tried to calm the storm 12 hours later, upgrading Marina Mabrey's shove to a flagrant 2 and tacking on more fines. But they stopped short of suspensions, leaving every storyline still burning for the rematch. The message, intentional or not, was clear. Policing Clark now comes with hazard pay because Sophie just wrote a new job description, Enforcer-in-Chief.
She is the Caitlin Clark enforcer. That has been shown. She is the enforcer that the Fever have needed for the last year, and she has responded.
And that raises the bigger question the rest of the league must answer. Why does a rookie sharpshooter need a personal bouncer in the first place? To understand the bullseye on Clark's back, we have to rewind to the spotlight she's been carrying since draft night. That's where Section 3 picks up. 3. Why Caitlin Clark? Where's a bullseye, not just a jersey, Caitlin Clark didn't stroll into the WNBA. She crash-landed with the force of a pop star on tour. Within a month of her debut, she'd locked up Rookie of the Month, led highlight reels coast to coast, and juiced ticket demand in every arena she entered. League press releases practically wrote themselves. Attendance records falling, merchandise lines doubling, TV audiences suddenly flirting with NBA playoff numbers. Her June 17th return game against New York, 2.2 million live viewers on ABC, the third highest WNBA broadcast ever. That spotlight, though, casts a long shadow. Rumors suggest some veterans bristle at what they call the instant legend treatment. Extra interview slots, endorsement chatter, and cameras tracking Clark's warm-up more than their own stat lines. Unnamed assistants whisper about a welcome to the league tax, the unwritten rule that a hyped rookie must first taste hard elbows before earning real respect. It's speculation, sure, but the whispers grew louder after Chicago guard Chennedy Carter's hip check last season, a hit later upgraded by the league office and dissected on every sports desk for a week. And the pattern keeps looping. Every time Clark slips a screen or nails a 28-footer, defenders crowd harder, bumps get heavier, hands drift just a little higher, like when Sheldon's fingertip grazed her retina Tuesday. Coach after coach swears the contact is just playoff-level physical, yet even neutral analysts admit she's absorbing star player attention without star player whistle protection. Iowa legend turned Fever assistant Lisa Bluter warned last month that unchecked clutch and grab tactics could cost the league its golden ticket if they lead to injury or burnout. Her comments, for the record, drew both applause and eye rolls. So when officials swallow the whistle, teammates are forced to choose: accept the gauntlet or pick it up. That's why Sophie Cunningham's split-second lunge felt less like a rash decision and more like an overdue answer. If the refs won't shrink the target on Clark's back, the Fever will, and Cunningham just stapled that message to the league's front door. Next up, how the officiating fallout and social media firestorm pushed the WNBA into a credibility test it can't afford to fail. 4. League fallout and the officiating firestorm. When the clock struck 0, the real scramble moved from the hardwood to the WNBA's replay center. Overnight, the league quietly upgraded Marina Mabrey's shove to a flagrant 2, an admission that the in-game whistle missed the mark, yet still chose not to suspend anyone. That decision landed with a thud. Fines for technicals and flagrants start in the few $100 range, a drop in the bucket for pros, and critics blasted the penalties as parking ticket justice after a sequence that could have sidelined the league's biggest draw. Fans howled, pundits pounced, and even neutral observers asked why a rookie sharpshooter keeps taking playoff-level hits without superstar protection. The pressure doubled when mainstream outlets called out officiating inconsistencies. Headlines like "Referees under fire for failing Caitlin Clark" splashed across national feeds, and questions about player safety jumped from social media to cable panels in a single news cycle. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert now faces a credibility test ahead of July's Board of Governors meeting, where sources say hand check and flagrant guidelines are suddenly item 1A on the agenda. Yet for all the wrist slaps and sound bites, one reality remains. The next Fever Sun showdown is only 3 weeks away, and every player knows the cameras will be rolling. The league can tweak fines, but can it tame the fuse it just lit? We'll find out soon, because the court of public opinion is already in session and its verdict is trending by the minute. Up next, how hashtags like She, Bodyguard Barbie, and Tan WNBA Fight Night blew the controversy into a viral bonfire, and why that might be exactly what the league both wants and fears. 5. Social media combustion. The buzzer hadn't finished echoing before the internet detonated. A 12-second courtside clip of Sophie's flagrant wrap-up hit X at 10:34 p.m. And by sunrise, it sat atop the trending page with captions screaming, "Bodyguard Barbie is real." Fans clipped the moment, slapped slow-mos over trap beats, and pushed the view count north of 1 million before coffee even brewed. By mid-morning, 2 new hashtags, Jaja Bodyguard Energy and Sophie-Caitlin and Sophie, were pinging so hard they cracked X's worldwide top 5, wedged between a Taylor Swift teaser and NBA draft rumors. Clips poured onto TikTok, one snagging 114K likes in 10 hours. And Cunningham's Instagram follower tally ballooned by 500,000 in the first 24 hours, according to Outkick's traffic scrape. Even Fanatics' jersey algorithm blinked Cunningham's number, 8 shot past Clark's number 22, to become the Fever's most popular kit, the retail equivalent of a standing ovation she never asked for.
But there's been a lot of posts about Sophie Cunningham jerseys completely selling out. There's been a lot of posts.
But virality cuts both ways. A Change.org petition demanding the league banish Cunningham, yes, banish, surfaced overnight, racking up signatures mostly from trolls eager to call the petition ridiculous in the comments.
WNBA fans have now made a petition to have Sophie Cunningham removed from the league. You can't make this up.
Sports talk hosts lapped it up, calling it proof that Sophie has heels and heroes in equal measure. The fast-rising metrics spooked league sponsors as much as they thrilled content creators. Brands enjoy clicks. They loathe headlines with words like violent, momentum, meet migraine. And while debate raged, protector or menace, one truth solidified. Every swipe at Clark now echoes beyond the arena, amplifying Cunningham's mystique and the WNBA's visibility in the same breath. Next, why that double-edged spotlight forces the league into a business versus brutality dilemma it can't ignore. 6. Business versus brutality. The W's PR crossroads. Money adores attention, but it hates carnage. That paradox hit the league in real time this week. Search interest in WNBA is up 322% year over year, a jump analysts tie directly to Caitlin Clark's star power and Sophie Cunningham's viral bodyguard moment. Brands smell opportunity. Deloitte projects women's sports sponsorships to crack $2.35 billion in 2025, outpacing men's leagues in growth. Sensing the gold rush, league marketing rolled out its new viewer discretion campaign. Promo spots that open with a tongue-in-cheek warning before showing Aja Wilson swatting shots and Clark drilling logo threes. The message, buckle up. This league is intense by design, but intensity turns to liability when it looks like pro wrestling. Nielsen data shows national ratings plummeted 55% during Clark's recent quad injury absence, a reminder that the business boom still hinges on one marquee face. Sponsors watching those numbers now ask a hard question. Will casual viewers keep tuning in if the headline shifts from highlight reels to hospital risks? One footwear brand executive, speaking anonymously to Marketing Brew, called the Fever Sun dust-up great for clicks, dicey for corporate risk. An unverified but telling whisper that's already ricocheting through agency circles. Meanwhile, the overnight surge in Cunningham's jersey sales, briefly surpassing Clark's on Fanatics, signals another truth. Controversy sells product. League insiders privately debate whether to lean into the rivalry narrative or tighten the rulebook at July's Board of Governors meeting, where tougher hand check and flagrant guidelines are said to be Item 1A. Reports claim nothing is final, yet the pressure is very real. So the W sits on a knife edge. Dial down the melee and risk losing some viral spark, or let the sparks fly and hope no superstar gets sidelined. One mistimed elbow could spook advertisers faster than any tweet can trend. And with a Sun rematch looming in 3 weeks, every stakeholder, from network bosses to sneaker reps, is bracing for the next collision. Next up, the calendar circle that could redefine this rivalry, and why every camera will be aimed at numbers 22 and 8 when the sequel tips off. 7. Circle the calendar, July 1st and July 15th. The next 2 checkpoints on this fast-boiling rivalry are already inked in red. July 1st, Commissioner's Cup Final at Minnesota Lynx. Indiana's 88-71 win over the Sun punched the Fever's ticket to the in-season title game, set for 8 p.m. ET at Target Center. It's the franchise's first Cup appearance, and the league will be watching to see if refs whistle early and often to an hyped rematch with Connecticut at 8 p.m. ET tickets went on sale 2 months ago. Limited inventory remains, and arena promos literally warn fans to expect intensity. Those 2 dates will answer 3 burning questions. 1. Will officiating recalibrate? The league's overnight upgrade of Marina Mabrey's shove proved HQ is willing to correct in hindsight, but doing it live on national TV is the real test. 2. Does Sophie double down or de-escalate? A Cup final spotlight, then a Sun rematch on a storied NBA floor gives her 2 prime stages to define what Bodyguard Barbie really means: calculated deterrent or repeat headliner. 3. Can business boom without bruises? Every brand executive courting the Caitlin Clark effect knows one mistimed elbow could torpedo a marketing plan. July's back-to-back showcases will signal whether the W can keep its viral spark and its marquee star intact. So mark it down. July 1st for hardware, July 15th for heat. By the time the final horn sounds in Boston, we'll know if the Fever Sun feud nudges the WNBA toward a cleaner rulebook, a bigger ratings haul, or both. Either way, every camera will be locked on number 22 and number 8, because the league's next chapter of chaos, commerce, and maybe even change is scheduled and waiting in plain sight. Conclusion: the bodyguard era, anomaly, or new normal? So, did Tuesday night mark the dawn of the WNBA's first true bodyguard era? Or was it just one game's combustible cocktail of star power, officiating missteps, and a veteran's zero-tolerance fuse? One thing's certain: a single eye poke ignited a chain reaction that rewired the league's spotlight. Clark's bullseye is bigger than ever. Sophie's badge of deterrence just went platinum, and the front office now juggles viral gold with headline risk. July's rematch will tell us whether the rulebook tightens, the rivalry escalates, or both. Until then, every shove near number 22 carries a price, payable at the Cunningham counter. What's your verdict? Heroic protector or reckless enforcer? Drop your take below and tell us if the Fever Sun fireworks signal a league evolving or a storm just getting started.